Today, U.S. warship intercept by Russian warship after challenging claims in Sea of Japan. Russia said on Tuesday one of its warships caught and chased off a U.S. destroyer operating illegally in its territorial waters in the Sea of Japan, but the U.S. Navy denied wrongdoing by its vessel and accused Moscow of making excessive maritime claims. The Admiral Vinogradov, a Russian destroyer, verbally warned USS John S. McCain, a U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer, and threatened to ram it in order to force it to leave the area, prompting it to return to neutral waters, Moscow said. Russia said its Pacific Fleet warship had been tracking the American destroyer in the Peter the Great Gulf, and that the U.S. vessel had violated Russia's territorial waters at 0317 GMT by going 2 kilometers beyond the sea border. But the U.S. Navy said its warship had been in international waters throughout as it carried out a freedom of navigation operation to assert its rights and challenge what it said were Russia's excessive maritime claims. Lieutenant Joe Kiley, 7th Fleet spokesperson, said the United States will never bow in intimidation or be coerced into accepting illegitimate maritime claims, such as those made by the Russian Federation. The Russian Federation's statement about this mission is false, he said. USS John S. McCain was not expelled from any nation's territory. The U.S. destroyer made no further attempts to enter Russian waters after leaving the area, Moscow said. The Admiral Vinogradov was continuing to observe its movements and another vessel, a corvette, was dispatched to the area, it added. Such incidents at sea are rare, but they underscore the poor diplomatic and military relations between Russia and the United States, whose ties are languishing at a post-Cold War low. The last remaining major arms control pact between the former Cold War foes is due to expire in February despite months of talks to find a replacement. Also, President Vladimir Putin has yet to congratulate U.S. Democratic President-elect Joe Biden with his November 3rd election victory over President Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy challenged what it called Russia's excessive maritime claims to waters in the Sea of Japan, sailing a warship into an area claimed by Moscow, an act that drew a warning from a Russian ship. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement that the USS John S. McCain had violated Russian waters and that the Russian anti-submarine destroyer Admiral Vinogradov issued a warning to the American ship, threatening to ram it to drive it out of the area. The Russian statement said that the U.S. ship changed its course following the warning. The U.S. Navy denied the Russian claim that the threat caused the U.S. ship to leave the area. The Russian Federation's statement about this mission is false. USS John S. McCain was not expelled from any nation's territory, Lieutenant Joseph Kiley, a spokesperson for the Navy's 7th Fleet, said in a statement. The incident only serves to increase tensions between the two countries less than 2 months from U.S. President-elect Joe Biden taking office. Russian President Vladimir Putin is yet to congratulate Biden for his victory over President Donald Trump, who he has enjoyed a warm relationship with. Russia's claims to the area date back to the Soviet Union. The U.S. Navy last challenged Moscow's claims to the area in 2018. The U.S. does not recognize Russia's claims on the waters, saying that Moscow is not entitled to sovereignty over the area that far exceeds the 12 miles from the Russian coastline guaranteed by international law. The operation reflects our commitment to uphold freedom of navigation and lawful uses of the sea as a principle, and the United States will never bow in intimidation or be coerced into accepting illegitimate maritime claims, such as those made by the Russian Federation, Kiley said. The USS John S. McCain asserted navigational rights and freedoms in the vicinity of Peter the Great Bay in the Sea of Japan. This freedom of navigation operation upheld the rights, freedoms, and lawful uses of the sea recognized in international law by challenging Russia's excessive maritime claims, Kiley added. Peter the Great Bay is the largest gulf in the Sea of Japan, also known as the East Sea, and home both to the Russian city of Vladivostok and the Russian Navy's Pacific Fleet. The 2018 operation was the first time the U.S. had conducted a freedom of navigation operation in that area since 1987, before the breakup of the Soviet Union. Other sources say the U.S. Navy says one of its warships conducted just a freedom of navigation operation in the Sea of Japan, making a rare challenge to a controversial maritime claim by Russia. Russia's defense ministry said that in response to the operation, one of its military ships stopped the USS John S. McCain destroyer by threatening it with a warning that it would be rammed out of the disputed waters in the vicinity of Peter the Great Bay. The Russian Federation's statement about this mission is false. USS John S. McCain was not expelled from any nation's territory, the Navy said Tuesday, adding that the operation was in accordance with international law in international waters. The area has been in dispute since 1984, when the Soviet Union declared it part of its waters. Russia has maintained that claim. The operation reflects our commitment to uphold freedom of navigation and lawful uses of the sea as a principle, and the United States will never bow in intimidation or be coerced into accepting illegitimate maritime claims, such as those made by the Russian Federation, the Navy added in its statement. The last U.S. military challenge to Russia's maritime claims near Peter the Great Bay was in December 2018, according to the Navy. Prior to that, the last U.S. freedom of navigation operation in the area took place in 1987. The U.S. frequently conducts freedom of navigation operations in the Western Pacific region to dispute excessive maritime claims by several countries, especially China, and to promote free passage through international waters.